List of Marvel Cinematic Universe films. In today's video we'll learn about list of Marvel Cinematic Universe films going through their sections: abstract, films, timeline, recurring cast and characters, release, reception, repurposed projects, external links. Abstract. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, films are a series of American superhero films produced by Marvel Studios based on characters that appear in publications by Marvel Comics. The MCU is the shared universe in which all of the films are set. The films have been in production since 2007, and in that time Marvel Studios has produced and released 23 films, with at least 14 more in various stages of development. It is the highest-grossing film franchise of all time, having grossed over $22.5 billion at the global box office. This includes Avengers: Endgame, which is the highest-grossing film of all time. Kevin Feige has produced every film in the series, alongside Avi Arad for the first two releases, Gail Ann Hurd for The Incredible Hulk, Amy Pascal for the Spider-Man films, and Stephen Broussard for Ant-Man and the Wasp. The films are written and directed by a variety of individuals and feature large, often ensemble, casts. Many of the actors, including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and Jeremy Renner, signed contracts to star in numerous films. Marvel Studios releases its films in groups called phases. Their first film is Iron Man 2008, which was distributed by Paramount Pictures. Paramount also distributed Iron Man 2 2010, Thor 2011, and Captain America: The First Avenger 2011, while Universal Pictures distributed The Incredible Hulk 2008. Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures began distributing the series with the crossover film The Avengers 2012, which concluded Phase 1. Phase 2 comprises Iron Man 3 2013, Thor: The Dark World 2013, Captain America: The Winter Soldier 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy 2014, Avengers: Age of Ultron 2015, and Ant-Man 2015. Captain America: Civil War 2016 is the first film of Phase 3, and is followed by Doctor Strange 2016, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 2017, Spider-Man: Homecoming 2017, Thor: Ragnarok 2017, Black Panther 2018, Avengers: Infinity War 2018, Ant-Man and the Wasp 2018, Captain Marvel 2019, Avengers: Endgame 2019, and Spider-Man: Far From Home 2019. The first three phases are collectively known as the Infinity Saga. The Spider-Man films are owned, financed, and distributed by Sony Pictures. Phase 4 will include Black Widow 2021, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings 2021, Eternals 2021, The Untitled Spider-Man: Far From Home sequel 2021, Thor: Love and Thunder 2022, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness 2022. The phase will feature these films, as well as 8 announced television event series for the streaming service Disney+. Black Panther 2 2022, and the untitled Captain Marvel sequel 2022 are also in development, along with one additional film for 2022 and 4 films for 2023. This project compresses information gathered from Wikipedia in video format. Why should I watch it? Studies prove that reading while listening improves comprehension, increases speed as well as expands vocabulary and enhances fluency. Provide your feedback on the comments section. Support the channel by subscribing and liking the video. Thanks. Films. The films from Phase 1 through Phase 3 are collectively known as the Infinity Saga. Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige have additional storylines planned through 2028. resulting in many films on the docket that are completely different from anything that's come before intentionally. Feige noted at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con that the studio had films scheduled to release after 2021, though they would not announce them nor the release dates at this time. Disney has scheduled additional release dates for untitled Marvel Studios films on October 7, 2022, as well as February 17, May 5, July 28, and November 3, 2023. By October 2018, Ryan Coogler signed to write and direct a sequel to Black Panther 2018, which Kevin Feige confirmed was in development by mid-2019 with the placeholder title Black Panther 2. Plans for the film changed in August 2020 when Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman died from colon cancer, with some of the main returning cast members confirmed by that November. Filming is expected to begin in July 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia, and last up to 6 months. Black Panther 2 is scheduled to be released on May 6, 2022. Feige confirmed a sequel to Captain Marvel 2019 was in development at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con that July, with Megan McDonnell set to write the script by January 2020, and Brie Larson returning as Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel. The studio wanted a female director for the film rather than have Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck return from the first, with Nia DaCosta hired to direct by that August. The film is scheduled to be released on July 8, 2022, after Marvel Studios regained the Blade film rights from New Line Cinema. They had a working script for a new film by May 2013. Wesley Snipes discussed potentially reprising his role from New Line's prior film series with Marvel Studios in 2015. Before Mahershala Ali approached the studio with a new film he would star in after previously portraying Cornell "Cottonmouth" Stokes in the first season of Luke Cage. Feige officially announced the film with Ali in the title role at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con. Blade will be released in a future MCU phase. A third Guardians of the Galaxy film was planned by Marvel Studios in April 2016. And James Gunn confirmed a year later that he would return to write and direct Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. However, Disney and Marvel temporarily dismissed Gunn in July 2018 after the resurfacing of her old, controversial tweets. Disney and Marvel reversed course that October and reinstated Gunn as the director, while production and the release were pushed back so Gunn could complete the DC Extended Universe (DCEU) film The Suicide Squad 2021, and its spin-off series First Gunn's return was revealed in early 2019 along with the 5 main stars' involvement, and Feige confirmed it was in development at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con that July. Filming is expected to begin in late 2021. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is expected to be released after 2021, ahead of the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp 2018. Peyton Reed said he and Marvel Studios were hopeful about a third Ant-Man film, having discussed potential story points, and was confirmed to return to direct the film by November 2019. With Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly returning as Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and Hope Van Dyne, Wasp. Jeff Loveness was writing the script by April 2020. Filming is expected to begin in 2021. The film is expected to be released in 2022, after the acquisition of 21st Century Fox by Disney was announced in December 2017. Disney CEO Bob Iger said Ryan Reynolds would reprise his role as Wade Wilson, Deadpool from 20th Century Fox's X-Men film series and be integrated with the PG-13 rated MCU under Disney. The PG-13 version of Deadpool 2, 2018, Once Upon a Deadpool, was looked at for depicting the R-rated world of Deadpool, 2016, and Deadpool 2 for the MCU to have the character reside in and play around with that universe. By December 2019, Reynolds confirmed that a third Deadpool film was in development at Marvel Studios. In November 2020, Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux-Logelin were hired to write the film, while Reynolds' involvement in the film's R rating were confirmed. At the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con in July, Feige announced that an MCU Fantastic Four film was in development, and said it would bring Marvel's first family up to the sort of platform and level they deserve. After the critical and commercial failure of 20th Century Fox's previous film adaptation. At the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con, Feige announced that Marvel Studios was developing films for mutants, which include the X-Men team, and noted that the terms X-Men and mutants are used interchangeably while saying the MCU depiction would differ from the 20th Century Fox film series timeline. During Phase 1 of the MCU, Marvel Studios lined up some of their film stories with references to one another, though they had no long-term plan for the shared universe's timeline at that point. Iron Man 2 is set 6 months after the events of Iron Man, and around the same time as Thor, according to comments made by Nick Fury. The official canon tie-in comic Fury's Big Week confirmed that The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor all took place within a week, a year before the crossover film The Avengers. Writers Chris Yost and Eric Pearson tried to follow the logic of the film's timeline when plotting the comic, and received the seal of approval from Feige and Marvel Studios on the final timeline. As promotion for The Avengers, Marvel released an official infographic detailing this timeline in May 2012. Wanting to simplify the in-universe timeline, the Phase 2 films were set roughly in real time relating to The Avengers. Iron Man 3 takes place about 6 months later, during Christmas. Thor: The Dark World is set 1 year later, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier is 2 years after. Avengers: Age of Ultron and Ant-Man ended the phase in 2015, with several months passing between those films in universe as in real life. For Phase 3, directors the Russo brothers wanted to continue using real time, and so Captain America: Civil War begins a year after Age of Ultron, with Avengers: Infinity War set 2 years after that. However, producer Brad Winderbaum said the Phase 3 films would actually happen on top of each other, while being less interlocked, as the Phase 1 films were, with Black Panther and Spider-Man: Homecoming respectively beginning a week and several months after Civil War. Thor: Ragnarok beginning 4 years after The Dark World and 2 years after Age of Ultron, around the same time as Civil War and Homecoming. Doctor Strange taking place over a whole year and ending up to date with the rest of the MCU. Ant-Man and the Wasp also set 2 years after Civil War and shortly before Infinity War, and both Guardians of the Galaxy and its sequel Volume 2 being explicitly set in 2014, which Feige believed would create a 4-year gap between Volume 2 and Infinity War, though the other MCU films up to that point do not specify years on screen. When Spider-Man: Homecoming was being developed, director and co-writer John Watts was shown a scroll detailing the MCU timeline that was created by co-producer Eric Carroll when he first began working for Marvel Studios. Watts said the scroll included both where the continuity of the films lined up and did not line up, and when fully unfurled it extended beyond the length of a long conference table. This scroll was used as the basis to weave the continuity of Homecoming into the previous films, such as The Avengers. This was labeled in the film with the title card stating that 8 years passed between the end of The Avengers and the events of Civil War, which was widely criticized as a continuity error that broke the established MCU timeline, in which only 4 years should have passed. Additionally, dialogue in Civil War indicates that 8 years passed between the end of Iron Man and the events of that film, despite the established continuity being closer to 5 or 6 years. Infinity War co-director Joe Russo described the Homecoming 8 years time jump as very incorrect, and the mistake was ignored in Infinity War, which specified that its events were taking place only 6 years after The Avengers. The public response to the Homecoming mistake inspired Marvel Studios to release a new timeline for all three phases, and in November 2018, a timeline specifying dates for the events in each film released to that point was included as part of the sourcebook. Marvel Studios' The First 10 Years, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the MCU. This timeline ignores the two 8-year continuity errors, but also contradicts the events of Black Panther and Infinity War by placing them in 2017. Despite the latter apparent mistakes, Thomas Bacon of Screen Rant described the timeline as the closest Marvel has yet come to making an official statement on just when the different MCU events are set, bringing some sense of balance to the MCU continuity. Following Infinity War, the Russo brothers said future films would not necessarily be set according to real time, as there are a lot of very inventive ways of where the story can go from here, with both Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel set earlier in the timeline. The latter is set in 1995. Avengers Endgame begins shortly after Infinity War and ends in 2023 after a 5-year time jump. It confirms dates for several of the other films, including The Avengers in 2012, Thor: The Dark World in 2013, Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014, Doctor Strange around 2017, and Ant-Man and the Wasp in 2018 at the same time as Infinity War. Spider-Man: Far From Home begins 8 months after Endgame in 2024. In October 2020, the Marvel section of Disney Plus was restructured to include groupings of the films by phase, as well as a grouping that put the films in timeline order. This order was Captain America: The First Avenger, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Thor: The Avengers, Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 3, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America: Civil War, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Thor: Ragnarok, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers: Infinity War, and Avengers: Endgame. Bacon felt the placement of Thor: The Dark World and Black Panther corrected previous issues with their placement in the November 2018 First 10 Years timeline, and was glad Disney and Marvel recognize it's possible to watch these movies in anything other than release order, legitimized this viewing experience. The Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Spider-Man: Far From Home were excluded since Disney did not have their distribution rights. But Bacon felt The Incredible Hulk could be viewed after Iron Man 2 since it is simultaneous with that film. Homecoming could come after Black Panther, and Far From Home could be viewed last. Julia Alexander at The Verge agreed with Bacon that it seems like Disney finally understands how we want to watch Marvel movies. Additionally, Black Widow is set between Civil War and Infinity War, while Eternals and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness are set after Endgame. Recurring cast and characters. List indicator S. This section includes characters who will appear or have appeared in films in multiple phases within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and have appeared in the billing block for at least 2 of them. CFAQ. Release. In June 2012, Marvel announced a 10-disc box set titled Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1 Avengers Assembled, for release on September 25, 2012. The box set includes all 6 of the Phase 1 films: Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, The First Avenger, and Marvel's The Avengers on Blu-ray and Blu-ray 3D, in a replica of Nick Fury's briefcase from The Avengers. In August 2012, luggage company Rimmerware GmbH, who developed the briefcase for The Avengers, filed suit against Marvel Studios and Buena Vista Home Entertainment in U.S. federal court, complaining that Marvel did not obtain any license or authorization from Rimmerware to make replica copies of the cases for any purpose. The set was delayed to early 2013 for the packaging to be redesigned. The box set, with a redesigned case, was released on April 2, 2013. In addition, the box set included a featurette on the then-upcoming Phase 2 films, showing footage and concept art, as well as previously unreleased deleted scenes from all of the Phase 1 films. In July 2015, Marvel announced a 13-disc box set titled Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 2 Collection, for release on December 8, 2015. Exclusive to Amazon, Commercia. The box set includes all 6 of the Phase 2 films: Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man in Blu-ray 3D and the digital copy, in a replica of the orb from Guardians of the Galaxy, plus a bonus disc and exclusive memorabilia. Material on the bonus disc includes all of the Marvel one-shots with commentary, deleted scenes and pre-production creative features for each of the films, featurettes on the making of the post-credit scenes for the films, and first looks at Captain America: Civil War, Doctor Strange, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. In September 2019, Fej indicated a box set with all 23 films of the Infinity Saga would be released, with the set including previously unreleased deleted scenes and other footage, such as an alternate take of the Nick Fury post-credit scene from Iron Man which references Spider-Man, the Hulk, and the X-Men. The box set, featuring all 23 films on Ultra HD Blu-ray and Blu-ray, a bonus disc, a letter from Fej, and a lithograph art piece by Matt Ferguson, was released on November 15, 2019, exclusively at Best Buy, from August 30 to September 6, 2018, in conjunction with Marvel Studios' 10-year anniversary celebrations. All 20 films released at the time were screened in IMAX. The films were shown in release order, with 4 films per day. The final days of the festival were theme-related, with one showing Origin films, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Homecoming, Black Panther, and Doctor Strange, one showing Team-Ups, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Captain America, Civil War, The Avengers, and Avengers: Infinity War, and the final day showing Iron Man and the Avengers as chosen by the fans via a Twitter poll. The festival also saw Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, and Captain America, the first Avenger released in IMAX for the first time. Reception. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is the highest-grossing film franchise of all time worldwide, both unadjusted and adjusted for inflation, having grossed over $22.5 billion at the global box office. Several of its subseries such as The Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor film series are among the most successful film series of all time. Repurposed projects. These projects were in development as films from Marvel Studios before becoming television series under Marvel Television.